welcome back to another episode of The Unstable Brew, where we discuss all things not quite normal brewing up in our lives, this world, and maybe even beyond. I'm Taylor.
And I'm Charity.
Let's get brewing. Oh, so fun.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm tired.
This was a fun weekend.
I'm tired.
I know. I'm exhausted, but it was a fun weekend. We went to visit some friends. For one of our friends, she was turning 30.
When is her actual day of birth?
August 12th.
August 12th. Okay.
Yes. But, you know, we're adults, so gotta schedule around everything else. So this is the weekend that we all got together, which is fine. And it was so much fun. We ate lots of pasta. Lots of French pastries, and it was amazing.
First off, we first went to Paris Baguette.
Which is 10 out of 10. You need to go there now.
I want to go back.
I want to go back so bad.
There were so many things.
It was so good.
That I really wanted to try.
There were chocolate croissants. There were fruit custards. There were... You name it, they had it. The cake. There's so much cake.
I got a creme brulee donut, which was
yes,
bomb.
I got that too.
I still have that. I did bad. I had to put them in the refrigerator because I shouldn't leave them out.
Okay,
and now they're
who
probably
did
not
bad?
that
The
great.
fact that you still have some in the refrigerator, or the fact that I ate mine in one setting?
Yeah, but I also don't eat as much.
That's fair. Yeah.
And the stuff I got is a lot.
I got a lot. The chocolate croissant was just so crispy and stuffed with more chocolate on the inside and dipped with chocolate on the outside. And it was so good.
So, yeah, as you can tell, we absolutely loved the bakery that we went to. Amazing. Again, Paris Baguette. Definitely check them out. They're amazing.
10 out of 10.
And then the other place that we went to, do you remember the name of it?
For the life of me, I cannot remember the name of it, but I do know it's Italian, and it's amazing.
Also a place in Dallas.
Yes.
I know, terrible, but we can tell you about the experience. Overall, it is, first I'll set and say, it is a set course. It's a 4-course set menu, so it doesn't change.
You pay $40 flat, you get the same 4-course menu.
And if you want more of something, you just ask and they'll bring out more
for no additional charge,
which is great.
Yes.
So we straight up had, bread with 3 different butters. The sun-dried tomato butter
was amazing. Oh my gosh.
And then we had appetizers, which I forgot the soup too. The soup was really good.
Soup was very good.
It was so good. And then we had our appetizers, which was salad and potato salad
and cheeses. So many cheeses.
Yeah.
Cheese and honey. You wouldn't think it, but it was good. It was literally just cheese and honey. That was it.
I think it's a type of cheese. I don't know what type of cheese it was. I don't remember.
But it was so good.
I see what we were dumb about is we didn't take a picture of the menu.
No, we did not.
And we probably should have.
Yeah.
I took a picture of the food after we had already started devouring it.
And then all the pastas.
There's
so many pastas.
But there's 3 different types of pastas. So it's just
no, there were more because it was the chicken pasta. There were 2 different chicken pastas.
The guava pasta.
The guava pasta
was good.
It's fruit. It just sweetness.
I was
so good.
Not expecting the sweetness.
I wasn't either, but I appreciated it.
It was good.
And then the chicken. Oh, the chicken.
There are 3 different types of chicken. It was Parmesan chicken, regular chicken, and some kind of spicy chicken. Mm-hmm. And then the desserts. We learned this one is allergic to passion fruit. And
it was so good. And it went so wrong so fast.
No, we didn't have to go to the emergency room, but
almost.
Her throat got
close.
itchy.
This was not a good weekend for me and my allergies. I almost died twice. Basically, I wasn't even going to try it. I had the feeling, you know me, at this point we know I'm not afraid of my allergies. I'm the type of person of, I might be allergic. Let's take a bite and find out. But for this one, I just had that feeling of, I probably shouldn't. So I was going to stay away. And then Desiree was like, no, I'll just scoop the fruit off and you'll just get the custard that's deep in the middle. So that way it's not even touching the fruit. I'm like, that's a good idea. Let's do that. I take a small spoonful, and that small spoonful went like this. That's really, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. That fast. My throat began to swell, and it took 30 minutes to go back down.
I didn't realize it was that extreme.
It was bad.
You just said it was like itchy, and like you were like over there coughing. We're like, "Are you good? Like, do we need it?" Like, because there was a CVS within literal
walking
distance.
If I had any more than one bite, I probably would have had to go to the ER for that one.
Oh gosh,
it was not great.
So passion fruit is on the same level of peaches. Got it?
No, it's worse. Because for me, peaches are bad because they cause the hives and swelling, but it's a slower, steadier reaction. For me, passion fruit and kiwi. Kiwi's actually my worst one. And pistachios, but I would say kiwi's actually faster because it's an immediate reaction. If there were anything that I would think that I would actually need an EpiPen for, it would be that.
Oh, okay. Well, we learned something new about how to kill Charity. Take notes.
It's not that hard. I'm allergic to everything.
It really isn't. So, needless to say, I don't think I specified. It's served family style.
Yeah, so we all sitting around.
So we are passing these bowls around.
So good. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
That was like Alexis and Desiree's like what, third time going?
Second,
third?
And it was our first, but I will definitely be back. I've already informed my husband about it. I was like, no, we need to do this again.
I told Matt about the pastry place and the Italian place, and he also agreed that we needed to go. And I was like, we need to figure out what kind of excuse we need to do, because Matt's also a foodie. It's part of the reason we're excited to be going to Gatlinburg in like less than in a month. We will be
so excited for y'all
in Gatlinburg. So I'm like super excited. Of course, I'm saying all of this as time of recording. Of course, when this releases, we'll have already
You'll probably
done
either be in. No, yeah, you'll definitely be back by the time this one records. That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
By the time this releases, we will have already been to Gatlinburg. But leading up to Gatlinburg, I'm super excited because I'm excited to try all of the local food places. Because our number one rule is we are not allowed to get anything that we can get at home.
I think that's a great travel tip. Is you're traveling, unless you just really, really need something comforting that you know that you'll like, don't ever eat something that you can eat at home.
Yeah.
Always experience something
I am here for the food experience because Matt and I have had several ourselves in Denver. Hot Springs, we've had a variety of experiences at some of the places there. I mean, it's great. I love it.
The only downside to this weekend was as soon as I got home, I got to help family move. On the bright side, it's, my cousins are moving here to town. They're going to be living in the same town with us.
They'll be closer to me than you.
I know. Like, y'all are probably going to hang out a lot, honestly.
You assume that's the case, but you understand that Matt and I are home buddies, right? It takes a lot for us to I
don't know. I feel like Matt and Andrew are going to really click.
We'll see.
Andrew's a gamer.
I know. But also, Andrew needs to remember that there is a board game store.
Yes. Oh, he'll love that one.
He will.
Yeah. But I'm super excited that they're here.
Maybe Matt can get your cousin into tabletop miniature games.
Might.
And I don't have to be.
You don't have to be the one to entertain him with them.
Yeah. There's so many rules. It's so complicated. It goes over my head. He's like, okay, so this particular model, here's its little stats card. It can do X, Y, and Z. You need to roll, subtract this. This is your distance. This is how the turns work.
I think that's why I'm not a board game person. If I'm going to play games, I want to play card games. Because they're so straightforward. You're just playing with cards.
But board games are they're set, it's easy to digest rules. But when it comes to strategizing tabletop miniatures, I'm just like, What?
I don't want to play a game that's going to make me have to think.
And Matt really likes games that make you have to think. So
It's
welcome
too
to my
much
struggle. Well,
Ugh.
I still will say that you coming home and the chaos you dealt with was much better than my coming home chaos. It was short-lived.
What happened? It was with your animals?
Yeah.
My gracious.
All right, so I'm going to try to like make this quick rundown just for folks who are new here. I have 4 animals. We have Katana, who's the oldest. We have Jack and Daxter, which are twin brothers. They're like from the same litter.
They're cats.
And then we have Tolly, who is the youngest. She is the baby. Current dog years, Katana, she's an old lady. Okay, she did not ask for this. She's just here.
She's so upset about everything.
She's just here. She's patient. Not upset.
Yes.
She's patient. She's just tired of it. Okay.
She's just a tired old lady.
Exactly. Then we have the boys, which are teenagers. I think probably we'll say 16-year-olds. And then we have Tolly, who would probably be considered like a kindergartner. So imagine teenage boys having to deal with a little big sister who wants to just play with them all the time. And her version of playing with them all the time is barking at them.
Why do I feel an Of Mice of Men story about to happen? Stop squeezing the body!
Judy, no! I never actually read that book. It was too dry and boring. Matt
That was
loves
the
it.
only one that I could get into of his books. I love that book.
That is one of Matt's favorite books, so much so that he's read it twice.
I would read it again. I would.
He
Anywho.
will, okay. Rabbit trail. Ba-boing. Okay.
Why?
I don't know. I just did it. So I just had to set the stage here. Okay, I come home. Tolly is excited to see me because she like excited peed in the kitchen, which was a first. But she was apparently really excited to see me because she actually missed me. And that's another story I'll tell you after I tell you the chaos. I'm going to need water after this. I get home. I have not been home for more than 10 minutes. Okay. And I guess between this time span of Matt and I kind of moving around and talking, Tolly corners one of her brothers at the underneath a cat tower, and he finally got her. She finally got nicked after this entire time of we saying it's gonna happen. It's going to happen. It finally happened. We were not aware that this occurred because Matt was at his computer and he saw like either Jack or Daxter, most likely Jack, over there and Tolly over there, and just didn't pay much attention to it. And then he said he heard like some kind of yelp, and then Tolly ran off. So we didn't think anything of it until I walk into our office and I go to turn and Matt goes, "Wait, can you stop real quick?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" And come to find out I am covered in blood.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
I have blood like licks because of how it spread, which means like it either got her like her nose or something and she just constantly licked it, and then while she was running past me or stuff and like getting my attention, she was like licking me and stuff, and I had no idea.
Poor baby.
Until Matt said something, and then I looked down and I'm like, that's blood. And I'm like, I'm not injured or anything like that. And I happen to look at Tolly and I see like this little red mark on her nose, and I went, I think Tolly got scratched by one of the boys.
But you know what? It'll only happen once.
It takes her a few tries.
Yeah. Sometimes that natural selection is real.
So that was the chaos. It was very brief and short-lived, but it was just so shocking to like not even think much of it until Matt just happened to see like, because he thought it was bruises because he saw it on like the top of my leg, and he thought that was like one hell of a bruise.
Oof.
And then we actually looked and it was like, no, it was blood. And then just the way that it like spread, you could tell because she had been licking me and stuff. Because
That poor dog was like, please help me. I'm bleeding.
Well, when I got a wash rag to get her face, she did not want us near her. She got cornered in the bathroom and she would not let us try and like wipe her face down to see where he
That
got
poor
her.
baby.
So yeah, that was the
my
chaos I came
gosh.
to. The cute thing that made me go, oh, that Matt told me. Tolly apparently missed me.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? No, she didn't. What do you mean? And he's like, no, she actually did. So apparently Saturday, whenever he let her out of her kennel, the bedroom door was open. So she ran into the bedroom, I guess, assuming that I would be there, and jumped on the bed to like my side of the bed, thinking that she was going to jump on me. And then when she realized that I wasn't there, apparently she looked on the edge of the bed trying to find me.
Poor baby.
I went, oh!
She just wants her mama.
She apparently really missed me.
That's adorable.
So I was like, we are going to see how she does when we're gone for a week.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Oh, yay.
Good luck
I get to
to
deal
you.
with it. Oh, yay.
Good luck to you, because you and Daniel get to deal with it.
Yay.
The amount of times that I've had to animal sit
That's
your
true.
house.
I mean, we're due. We're due.
You are absolutely due. I am cashing in.
I'll be interested to see which of the cats hides the longest.
It's not like they have many places to hide.
You know, I used to think that about Smokey. The cat got clever. Every single move we made before furniture was even in the house, he was already hidden. He's good.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I can pretty well tell you where they're going to hide. It's going to be in the office underneath the futon or the recliner.
Good to know. Mental note.
And it's okay if they don't come out. Just make sure there's
So
food
long
and-
as I know that they're in the house, I'll feel okay.
Yeah, if you never see them come to the kitchen, you're fine.
Yeah.
I also don't think that Jack would be bold enough to go back outside. He did that once last year. It lasted 24 hours before he returned.
Yo-Yo did that once in the middle of a snowstorm.
Hasn't tried since.
Never did. Yep.
It's funny how that happens. All right, now that we've rambled on about
All of the life.
our personal shit like you came here for, woohoo, let's actually get into the whole reason we're recording, right?
Yeah, I think we should.
I
think this will be a fun episode.
maybe, or maybe we'll do a lot more like ding doing. Wait, how did I do it?
What? I don't know.
The rabbit trail. I don't know how I did it the first time. But boy, maybe that was it.
Oh
I
dear.
don't know.
Oh dear. This should let you know how tonight's episode's gonna go. Let's get into it.
Daniel's gonna hate me so much. In today's episode, we're going to discuss some of the more challenging aspects of adulthood. Obviously, you got bills and jobs and just overall responsibility are part of this. We wanted to cover the life challenges, at least from our perspective. These include finding your own identity, creating relationships that become familiar and lifelong, while judging everyone's different, not judging, oh good God, juggling everyone's schedule.
I don't know. I feel like sometimes there's judgment thrown in there.
Maybe.
Sometimes. A little bit.
It just depends.
Depending on the person.
It does depend.
Yeah. But I mean, on top of all of that, you've also got that imposter syndrome that's going to set in. I mean, yeah, you're going to see that in jobs as you get moved up in your career, as we've both noticed in ourselves, we often look at ourselves and we think, I feel like I should not be in the position that I'm in because this feels like a lot of responsibility. But then you're also going to see it in your everyday life because as you grow and you change into either more mature person and just, finding yourself, I feel like other people, as well as even you can almost like gaslight yourself into thinking, this is not who I was 10 years ago. How is this me? Or how am I making these choices? And just because you grow as a person, you don't always make the same decisions that you would have made 10 years ago. And sometimes, as we often see in society, people get called out for the fact that their opinions are different now than they were 20 or 30 years ago, or they speak differently. And I think that's a real challenge sometimes when we're trying to change and become better people.
Yeah, I could see that. So what do you believe are some starting challenges a young adult might have?
I mean, obviously, especially in today's age, you've got college, but especially because we don't prepare our teenagers to become adults. We prepare them to take a test. We prepare them to get good grades. We don't prepare them to understand taxes. We don't prepare them to understand how to manage their car and keep up with maintenance. We don't prepare them for financial aid.
Can I say a little secret?
Yeah.
I had to Google how to write a check.
Oh, Taylor.
I know how to do it now, but when I first had to...
I was about to say, I work for a bank.
No.
You could have asked me.
No, I know how to do that now because I write them all the time, okay? It's how I pay my rent and that's how I pay my car note. But no, when I first had to, write a check, I had to Google it.
That's fair. I asked my mom the first time I wrote a check because I was like, there's a lot of lines. And learning, you have to write the name, you have to write the number, but then you have to write out the number. And I was like, this just seems excessive.
You want to know what's embarrassing? And I know I probably have done it several times, is misspelling the words.
Yes. Yeah. No, I've done that before.
I'm
Dyslexia kicks in hard.
Oh, sometimes I wonder if I have that, but that's a
whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother problem.
But yeah, we don't prepare our kids for the actual move from high school into college or high school into the real world. A lot of kids these days are now beginning to face the question of, do I go into college? Do I go into military? Do I just go out into the world and shoot for the best? They don't know that there are a lot of jobs that you can get that pay well and have good advancements that don't require a college degree. My job does not require a college degree.
Mine doesn't require a college degree. It just helps lessen the number of years of experience.
It does help, but it's not a necessity. Mm-mm. But kids for so long, our generation, I feel like especially, we're taught that college was the only answer. You're doing college or you're doing military. Yeah. There is no other option. And that's not the case.
That was hardcore what was within my household. It was you went to the military because that came from my dad, or you went on to go to college, and that came from my mother's side of the family, where they held education at such a high pedestal. We're talking about my grandmother repeatedly goes back to college when she's bored and gets another degree just because she can, for shits and giggles. And I'm like,
is she taking out loans every time? Or does she just have endless money to pay for college?
I don't know the answer.
Because I know people that do that and they just take out the loans because they're like, I'm not going to pay them back anyways. I legitimately know people that do that.
Fun fact, that if you go back to school, you don't have to pay back your loans.
And that's another reason why I know people that do that. Because they go back to school because they can't afford to pay their loans, so they take out more loans to avoid having to pay them.
Oh,
it's a toxic system that we don't teach our children about.
Yeah. I can definitely say I got roped into it when I shouldn't have, but I did it anyways because I'm young, dumb, and I saw free money.
Well, that's the issue, is the financial aid department did not teach you. The high school did not teach you. Financial literacy needs to be taught to children. It's not.
With that. I do agree with that.
What are some of the hardships that you think that they'll face?
Oh gosh, definitely the harsh reality of the real world of you have to build your credit.
Yes.
You can't do shit without credit. So you have to essentially put yourself in debt in order for you to build your credit, because you didn't have to pay off that debt. But you have to understand the balance between having too much debt or too little debt.
There's healthy debt that builds your credit, and then there's bad debt that weighs you down.
Yeah.
There is a balance, and we definitely don't teach our children that.
No. And so, like, I have had to learn a lot of hard lessons because of making young, dumb, stupid decisions.
Same.
We'll say college, at my college education, for an example. I did not have to have student loan debt. I think I've mentioned this in a previous episode when we were discussing college. I was stupid, saw free money, and took it when didn't even think about the consequences, because I wasn't working, because I was going to school full time, and I was like, how am I going to juggle full-time school and work? I get it that people do it. Those people are rock stars,
I
and somehow can manage the stress.
I'll always be impressed with the single mother working 2 jobs and taking night school.
And
like,
making good grades.
Where do you get the energy, and can I have some? Please. I'm so impressed. I don't understand how they're able to do it.
Because they're superhuman.
Is it drugs? I feel like it might be drugs.
No. I think a lot of it is just the drive and determination to like provide better for their family. But like, I am now in student loan debt because I took money and didn't think about the fact that I have to pay it back. That's going to haunt me for the rest of my life, because I now make just enough money to cover my bills, but not enough to fully cover all of my debt that I've accrued throughout my 20s.
But I'm like, yes, you
floating.
are at fault for that.
Yeah.
But I would say it's about a 90-10, where there is some guilt to be held at the financial aid department. They knew that you had funding. They should not have talked you into more.
So,
but yeah, it happens. I mean,
but
one of the hardships of adulthood is learning those curves.
Yeah, there's so much stuff, because the other thing is there's some folks who, they have it a little bit easier in the sense that they have more family support, or they were able to work during college or through high school, and so they were able to build money up to that. They're able
to stay at home during college rather than doing dorms or an apartment.
Yeah, there are definitely ways to where you could save.
But not everybody has those types of support systems in place.
No. And so trying to learn how to navigate through all of that without really knowing the resources, because trying to locate them is a pain in the ass.
It is. They don't make it easy.
No.
Yeah. So what are some specific hardships that you think you might have faced over the last 10 years of adulthood?
Deconstructing and reconstructing myself.
Yeah.
And to elaborate a little bit more on that is I have in fact changed, but not in the sense that people assume like, oh my God, she's changed like so much. She's just not who what she used to be. Yeah, damn straight, because this is actually me.
Yeah.
I very much spent my teens and my early 20s thinking I had to be this one version of myself to fit what other people assumed of me. All me projecting heavily and having to learn that no one gives a shit.
Nobody cares.
No one cares.
And for the people that do care, they don't need to care. They have apparently all the time in the world to be caring that much about somebody else's personality.
It took me moving to a whole nother city for a few years, me continuing to like post and being a little bit more open and free into kind of self-discovery, and realizing no one fucking cares. And if they care so much to know every little detail or aspect of my life and want to complain, You get,
I mean, if they're following you that much, they're a fan.
yeah, there you go.
There you go. They're just a fan. Thank you, Selena Gomez, for that quote.
But also, depending on your family situation and upbringing, having to embrace being the black sheep.
Yeah.
And understanding what that means. Because I always thought the black sheep was like the oddball, the like, oh, we don't talk about that one,
No.
without understanding
It's
the why.
so much more.
And now, as I've gotten older and I've started setting my boundaries and I've started making choices for myself and not really thinking about I have to include my family, I'm learning I'm the black sheep because I'm out here doing me. And they're kind of pissed off now that I've actually decided to go, I tried in my 20s. You didn't do a whole lot for me. I'm just going to do my
and
shit.
You know, that's part of the hardship of becoming an adult, is realizing that, yeah, these familial relationships that you've had your whole life, sometimes they're not healthy for you to continue with as an adult. And it's not that you're cutting them off maliciously, or sometimes some people do that. But it's simply the fact that you're not welcoming them into your day-to-day life. You're not constantly calling them and inviting that energy into your life. You're out there living your life, and when you see them, you don't need to give them every single update or any sort of energy for them to immediately turn back on you and be like, you're just so different. Why are you like this?
Well, and it kind of sucks because for me personally, I've chosen to set boundaries with one family member, which unfortunately has caused a domino effect that there's been some kind of invisible line that's been drawn with the rest of the family. I don't know how to bridge that gap.
But that's what therapy's for.
So, but it does exist, which sucks. But at the same time, the thing is I still have an aunt and uncle. We barely talk, but when we do, it's a completely different vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, my aunt, she'll do like burst posts on her Instagram, and it's kind of like their adventures. I heart every single one of those. Okay, every single one of those, I'm liking them. If she posts a picture of my cousin that's like super cute, I will probably even comment going, oh my god, I love her curls, or this is such a beautiful picture, or anything like that. Or every so often my Uncle David gets on Facebook, a rarity, and we might message a little bit back and forth, but gosh darn it, every chance they come to Texas, they really try to at least stop and get lunch with us. If
and
they can work
shows.
it into their schedule of them heading back home, and we can make it work on our end, we actively try every time they come to Texas to meet up and get lunch.
And that shows that they're actually wanting to be a part of your life. Other than people who might make comments about how you're just never around anymore, but yet they never make a call.
Yeah.
They never come see you. It's a whole thing.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, that's one of the difficult aspects of becoming an adult. It's also one of the beautiful aspects of becoming an adult, because you're finding yourself in your independence and you create your own family.
Yep.
As I feel like we've often talked about, we've kind of done with our girlfriends from college.
We have a sisterhood, for crying out
Exactly.
loud.
I mean, we're going on a quote unquote family trip next year
I'm so
with all of them.
excited.
And it's just one of those, it's like that, it's a beautiful thing to be able to say that you've created your own family.
Yes.
Whether you even let go of your actual family or not, this is something that you can do as well. On top of that, it just provides even more of a support system, even more of a community.
It provides a different kind of a support system and community. I mean, hell, one of the last things we were all talking about in the living room was just, we can't wait until the kids hit the ages of 8, 9, and 10.
And we're just going to let them house hop.
We're going to like just ship them off. Like, okay, y'all are going to Aunt Christina and Uncle Brandon's for the week. Okay, y'all are going to go to Aunt Alexis and Aunt Desiree's place for a week or something.
Yeah.
And just kind of bounce them around and like ship them off to like grandparents' places. We're just like, once the kids are old enough, we don't want to keep them confined.
We want them to experience and travel and spend time with each other. And I love that for us. So yeah, sometimes you have to go through a bit of hardship with your own family, but you can create your own. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. So what's something specifically that you would add on hardships?
I mean, honestly, I think that was also in my notes was the family stuff. I mean, you've kind of seen that a lot with my family, especially over the past year, since my father has passed. There's just been a lot of questionable things done by certain members of my family that I'm like, you could have been here for this. If you can't be there, that's fine. You could have reached out. Mm-hmm. You could have done anything. You could have done any number of things. But instead, you just kind of vanished.
Yeah.
And then I kind of get made to feel bad because I'm not treating you as... Like, I'm polite, but I'm not treating you like I did when I was 14 because we were close and you were actually present in my life for 1 year. It's like all of those things. So just the ability to finally let go, and as my therapist would say, not expect more than what they've proven themselves to be capable of. It's a very difficult thing to do, but it's very healing when you're finally able to reach that step.
Yeah, no, that's... Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna schedule your appointment with your therapist?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to message you tomorrow just to check.
I meant to do it today. I went for a 5K instead.
Damn it, Charity!
Run off your feelings. It's fine.
Don't do that. Don't listen to the heathen over here.
You can do that too. You can do that too.
Why do you think some people struggle with adulthood more than others?
It's a personality thing for sure. You've got decision fatigue, which is basically, with adulthood, suddenly everything falls on your shoulder. Where you're going to live, what you're going to do for a living, what you're going to drive, if you're going to drive, or if you're going to take a bus system. And it's like where you're going to bank. All of these decisions on a day-to-day basis on top of suddenly you're at a point in your life where you feel like it's almost like FOMO, that fear of missing out. So if your friends are all going out to a Rangers game and you want to go to that Rangers game, but you're like, I'm also really tired. I really don't want to go. But then at that point, you're like, but if I don't go, they're going to stop inviting me. So you feel like you constantly have to go. It gets very tiring on top of keeping up with your day-to-day actual like necessity things, your job, your healthcare, all of that, to also keep up and maintain a social life. It's very difficult, and not everybody, especially people like us with ADHD, can handle it. And that's where you see a lot of people like us that typically end up becoming more introverted or just end up maybe even flailing a little bit in adulthood because it's so hard to keep up.
It's overwhelming.
It is. It's very overwhelming.
I would describe it as you're just constantly getting bombarded by noise and you're trying to organize that noise the best you can.
Yeah.
Without feeling like you're drowning.
Or feeling like you're not doing enough.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for me, half the time I feel like I am the busiest person in the world. You've seen my schedule. It's like every weekend I've got something going on. I'm either doing something with the girls, I'm doing something with my family, I'm doing something with my husband's family. I might actually finally have a free weekend. Oh, but now I'm actually trying to get a garage sale put in order. Oh, and now I'm also planning a women's conference for the church. Oh, and also now, this is starting back up. The child's now in soccer. Like, it's the whole thing.
You're making me tired.
Exactly.
Crap. I'm going to have to go to one of his soccer games.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to be an
You're
aunt.
going to one of those soccer games.
Shit.
You don't have to go to them all, but you got to go to one. That's my rule. Anyways, it's like all of these things happen, and then family comes in and they're like, hey, we're doing this barbecue, or hey, we're going on this trip. And then friends come in and they're also wanting to do stuff and they're wanting to go places. And you're like, I want to do all these things, but I'm also financially strapped, but I'm also really, really tired. And I also literally have not had a weekend for myself in 3 months.
Yeah, I actually...
You want to say no, but you want to say yes, and then you feel like you're the bad guy if you say no, and then you feel like you're not going to get invited anymore if you say no, and there's so much pressure.
You pretty much gave everyone who listened ADHD in that moment. I can relate.
Yeah, that was a full ADHD spiel. I'm so sorry. You now know what happens in my head every day.
But, like, it makes sense because at one point I had even said, because I think you and Daniel had messaged Matt and I and asked if we wanted to hang out. No. And my first instinct was to say, like, yeah, absolutely. But I had to, like, force myself to honestly be like, hey, we've been pretty, like, nonstop for the past few weekends, and we really need a weekend in.
Yep.
Are we cool to, like, not do this? And then thank God you guys understand, because it's like, yeah, cool, have
fun.
Out
of everyone, I think will understand the most, because again, you heard my schedule. I'm tired. I get other people get tired.
I had to, this girls' weekend, I had to go, okay, this is my budget for this weekend. This is like all the excessive spending I can spend. And then Matt and I have to go into conservative mode because we have a trip at the end of this month. And so we want to be prepared for that. But we've also realized we've overspent a little bit. So we're trying to do better. It's a lot. But like I've had to vocalize like we're having to like cut back. We can't really do anything. We really need to have like not busy weekends, which will be nice, but it's still a lot to manage.
It really is. I also heard, or I read about an issue, like a mental issue that some people will end up facing once they reach adulthood called Peter Pan syndrome.
The fuck?
Right? I'd never heard of it before, but I kind of liked how they broke it down of basically there are certain people that when they reach adulthood and they're faced with suddenly all of these responsibilities, all of these new decisions, they get so overwhelmed by it that they just don't want to do it anymore. They just want to stay that age no matter what, and then they just kind of revert back to that childhood mentality of I'm just going to hang out on my couch. I'm just going to watch TV. I'm just going to play games. I'm going to go out and hang out with my friends. They don't want to move out of the house, maybe these different issues. But I thought that was really interesting it's an actual issue that people face where they're facing so much anxiety to move forward that their brain just stops.
Wow.
And it's not like it stops growing or it de-ages. It's just like, nope, I've decided I'm not doing it. And without like actual therapy to kind of focus on the fact that you are in fact an adult now, you have to move forward, it can be very difficult to move past.
Huh. Who would have thought adulting can actually trigger mental illness?
It's shocking. I know. Anyways.
I'm tired.
So
Goodness
tired.
Gracious.
I mean, what do you think some people struggle with? Or why do you think some people struggle with adulthood more?
Honestly, your upbringing. If you are unfortunately from a different culture, if you are from different, what's the term? Class standing.
Yeah.
Like a minority, shit ton of trauma, divorced parents. I mean,
all of those can play a factor in how you live your life as an adult.
It does, because it could lessen your confidence in thinking that you deserve more, that you can do more than what you actually were raised in. For me personally, coming from a household involving divorced parents, communication was never a strong suit. So having to learn the whole communication thing so that way I can better relate my emotions and my feelings to my husband, to my friends, to my family who wants to be involved. That's actually really, really, really difficult because
Yeah.
I went from this 20-year-old adult who just flung the first thing that came straight to her brain without be damned the consequences to me having to like actually go, hold on. I'm just really, really, really this emotion right now, and means I'm not stable enough to have a normal conversation. Can we wait until I'm able to have a conversation with you? Because I would rather let me cool off and be able to think straight than to just spit out the first thing that comes to mind, knowing that it's going to hurt my partner or my friends or my family's feelings. So that's really difficult.
It's a difficult thing. And I love this for both of us because we both kind of came from that situation of very little true communication. And you and I were very different in the sense of you spit out the first thing that came to mind, I would clam up. I would just stop talking. My brain was like, nope, too much, nope. And I wouldn't be able to speak. And after 10 years of my husband teaching me how to communicate on top of therapy, but honestly, I attribute all of my communication skills to my husband.
I agree. Not my communication skills to your husband, but
to yours,
but to my husband. Because for
God
him,
bless them, they have so much patience with us.
They do. Because with Matt, he also came from a household that didn't really communicate, and it was communication through angry words and passive aggressive words.
Yep.
So he also had to learn how to communicate with me.
Where did he learn?
I don't know.
He's just a very calm and chill guy, so I feel like communication might come a little bit more naturally. Like he learned what not to do.
Yes.
Rather than we just learned nothing.
Correct. He pretty much took his experience and went, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I know how it makes me feel, and I'm not going to do that to someone else. So he kind of learned what not to do, but it's still...
Which is impressive within itself.
A struggle, but we had to teach ourselves how to have the type of relationship we have, and that doesn't come easy. And that's just relationships in general when you kind of come from a not so great upbringing.
Yeah, I completely agree. So what are some ways that you think we might be able to help our teens and young adults as they're transferring into this portion of their life, into adulthood, to prepare them for the challenges?
Well, one of the things you mentioned earlier, and I definitely agree with it, is some form of financial understanding.
Amen.
I'm sorry, that is one of the biggest hardships I can complain about all of this, is not understanding money and understanding debt.
Yeah. I think that is honestly... It's something that's destroying our country at this moment in time. The amount of national debt that we're in is ridiculous. While they're yelling at us about how we're handling our own debt, they aren't handling our debt for the country.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, half of the people that are out there right now can't afford a house.
Yep.
We can't afford cars. And then there are people out there that they can't afford most things, yet they're approved for credit cards, which is making it hard. Like, they're getting the things, but they can't actually afford the things. But they think that the credit card is free money. And it's a domino effect. Because
that's impressive. Hold on.
They learn this, and then they pass it on to the next generation.
It's impressive that people who have credit cards and not pay them are able to get more credit cards.
I don't understand it.
Because we're trying to like consolidate, like we're trying to make a smart adult decision of consolidating two of our credit cards to one payment. And we can't get approved because it's too high, because we're at too much of a risk.
It took us a couple of times to get approved for our consolidation loan. But I will say this, it is very helpful when you get one.
Oh, I know. It's just trying to find the right place that will go, we'll give you a shot.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
But I would say definitely just to have a basic understanding of just how money works and how debt works, I think would play a huge role on how the youth can handle being an adult. Because if you don't know how money works or understand the value of money,
you're not going to do well.
Young, dumb teens and young 20s are going to say, oh, financial aid, free money, and then blow it.
Oh, yeah.
And that
and then when they
them.
get past financial aid, then it's credit cards, free money. And then it's loans, free money. And then next thing you know, you're going bankrupt at 30.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've reached that point.
We haven't, but there are days where I'm just like, I just want to file so I can be done. But I'm like, no, I can do it. It's just going to be hard. Oh,
I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible.
But I mean, I think another thing that we could do is just preparing them for life in general. I mean, be honest with them.
Yes.
Be honest with them about the fact that it's hard. I understand that we want to shield our children from the fact that we're struggling. And in a lot of ways, I think it's good to shield them because you want to provide them with a happy household. You don't want them to stress over the things that you're stressing over. But I think it is okay to let them know, hey, yeah, you have to clean your room because we can't afford a cleaner. Because there are bills that have to be paid. No, you can't go out and see 5 different movies this weekend because I'd like to be able to keep the electricity on. It's one of those of just letting them know, yes, we can go out and have fun. But there is a limit to the madness.
There's a balance.
There's a balance. And if we don't have that healthy balance, then we're not going to make it. It's learning that, yeah, we have $500 extra this paycheck, but we really only need $200, and that $300 needs to go into savings. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would say something else, and this is more so of me trying to come from the aspect of like a aunt or a mom. Mm-hmm. Providing a safe space for your kiddos to know it's okay to fail.
Yes. This society
will get back up and they can do it again. The amount of times that Matt and I have failed throughout our 20s, I can be honest, we lived in several apartments. We did not pay that rent completely on our own. Yeah. We had help to pay rent every single month. We had help because we were dumb and wanted to be on our own without being prepared to be on our own.
Yeah.
We have moved
You wanted the independence, but you still weren't truly independent because you had to ask for help.
Correct. I'll be honest, our time in TK, we didn't have to ask for help because we were doing pretty well.
Yeah.
We had to ask for help for the first year of us living here because we just weren't making enough.
Yeah.
Several times.
And I mean, you know what? Sometimes that happens. Yeah, you don't necessarily want to create an environment for your child to think that they can just lean on you the entire time that they're an adult. But at the same time, you want them to know that they can come to you if they really need help. Because there's a balance. Again, everything has a balance. You need to be able to teach your children how to handle money while at the same time creating a space. There's a gnat and that's bugging me. Anyways. While at the same time creating, like you said, that space that teaches them if you fail, it's not the end of the world. It's not automatic bankruptcy if you can't stay in your apartment right now. It means you move, you get back on your feet, and you try again. You have to let a auto loan go. And yeah, your credit's going to get hit. And yeah, it's going to suck for a few years. But letting that auto loan go is a lot better than having to file bankruptcy on that car and your house and all of your equity. Mm-hmm. It's a balance. You've got to learn how to teach your children about all of that.
And it's still a lesson that we're trying to learn even now. Yeah. I mean, you're going through your own personal stuff of having to make certain choices that you don't want to have to make.
Yep.
But with y'all's situation, it's kind of what you have happening.
And we've been very blessed in a lot of ways. I think we both have. You know, we've got support systems that a lot of people do not have. And I'm very grateful for that.
Oh, yeah. Matt's family has been a godsend. They've helped us so many times. I mean, crap, I can't tell you how many times we've moved in with my mother-in-law because we just couldn't really do rent. And you know what? We had 2 rooms we had a whole little corner of the house to ourselves. So
I mean, you basically had your own little mini apartment in there.
We were just missing a kitchen.
Yeah, pretty much
it.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode as 2 women officially out of their 20s. No.
I'm excited for it.
Personally feeling a lot of the adult challenges this year. I wanted to share with you some of our perspectives of that. Take this as a reminder that you're not alone. Life is definitely hard. So just try to surround yourself with an amazing village and try to take care of yourself.
Please. And if you have any questions regarding this episode, or if you would like to share any of your stories of adult challenges that you've faced, you can email that to us at theunstableBrew@gmail.com. We promise to read all of the emails and share any that may fit into a future episode. If you would like to share your story but remain anonymous, simply let us know and we will be sure to honor your request.
And if you ever just simply want to share a story with us for venting purposes and not to be shared on public episodes, please let us know as well. We will respect your request because, as we all know, boundaries matter, people.
I like that one. There's a bit of sass.
I'm trying. I always want to change it up at least a little bit.
Add a little pizzazz.
Yeah, something.
If you would like to follow us on social media, we are available on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X under The Unstable Brew. We will often be posting promo videos and extra fun content on these platforms.
You always struggle.
I always do, every time, and I don't know why.
Oh, goodness, for my
rubbing
off on me.
What was it? Bing bong, bing bong.
No, I don't remember.
We were doing so well.
And now it's gone to crap. Remember, we are available for your listening pleasure or displeasure on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can even watch us on YouTube. Please like, share, download, comment, all the fun things.
Please. We appreciate it. Thanks. And we will be back next time with more Unstable Brew. Unstable Brew, unstable content. I got there.
Bye.